Welcome back to the factory, everyone. Last episode, we automated our resource gathering, set up basic production, and completed Tier 1. Today, we're stepping things up as we dive into Tier 2 to unlock even more advanced tools for our factory. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe now so you never miss out on a new video. And follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live every week as we progress on our factory together. Whether you're here for top tier streaming tutorials, practical game tips, or epic playthroughs, I've got you covered. Let's level up together. In this episode, we'll unlock a new fuel source, set up parts assembly, upgrade to Logistics Mk.2, and more, building on everything we've learned so far. Let's get into it. All right, so as you can see, I've reorganized our factory to make it a little more clean and unique looking. We currently have a place for everything, and it all feeds into the main area, which is where our hub is located. Over here, you'll also see that we have our equipment workshop and our MAM, which we'll be using here in the near future. The MAM, or molecular analysis machine, allows us to take materials we have found and research them to progress other trees that unlock a variety of items. Not to mention, it allows us to research hard drives for alternative recipes, which will become extremely valuable to us in the near future. See, and as you can see here, these are each one of the individual branches and things that we can eventually upgrade into. And that is pretty much everything I need to catch you up on. So let's move forward to our first milestone at the hub. Our first milestone in Tier 2 that I believe is the most important to tackle is obstacle clearing. This unlocks the chainsaw, which will let us remove even larger clusters of foliage, like trees, that can be turned into biomass more efficiently, and then turned into the upgraded, more efficient solid biofuel, which burns slower and can be used for fuel for the chainsaw. This also allows us to make room for our ever-expanding factory. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna select that milestone. We're gonna go ahead and put all of these items in here, and we're gonna launch this bad boy off. All right, so now what we got to do to craft this is we got to head over to our equipment workshop. We're going to go here to where it says chainsaw, and as you can see, it requires reinforced iron plates, iron rod, screws, and of course cable. And then we're just going to craft this guy, and boom, we have our chainsaw. So to equip that, you just hit tab, and then we're going to place that in our hands here. Now, as you can see, we do not have any fuel for this bad guy yet. So if you go over here to the crafting bench, you hit E and you scroll all the way down, you'll see that you can utilize biomass, leaves, or wood, and you can turn that into solid biofuel. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to craft some of that. We'll be able to run this since it's in our inventory. All right, so now that I got a little bit more solid biofuel for the chainsaw, what we can do is we can just go up to any foliage, and that includes even those big trees there, and we just left click. And what it's going to do is it's going to gather all the resources that are in a small radius, which is going to be a huge boon to our resource gathering, specifically for this fuel source. And see, boom, we got plus 12 wood, we got plus 31 leaves. And so this is going to really make things a lot more efficient when it comes to gathering biomass turn into the fuel. As stated, this will make navigating and expanding our factory much easier while also providing us with plenty of biomass fuel for the biomass burners. That being said, we need one last addition for this loop to make sure that we have ever-expanding fuel sources being made while we're building. So I'm going to take this time to build a little mini factory specifically for making solid biofuel. All right, so now we have our little factory completed here. The only thing that sucks about this is that we still have to gather this resource to feed into this factory, but won't require near as much time now that we have the chainsaw. So what we do once we use the chainsaw and we get, leaves and wood, now this machine will take those leaves and those wood, the constructor will actually turn it into biomass, and then that biomass will pop it out into this, and it'll make solid biofuel, which gets distributed to now these 3 biomass burners that we have up here. And I went ahead and removed the biomass burners from down here so that we had a little more space, and then these are just going on up until they run out, and there should be, in theory, enough power between those 3 to carry the rest of the factory for the time being. And then I may add some more up there just depending on our needs as time goes on. Now our next milestone is part assembly. This unlocks assemblers, allowing us to produce more complex parts, which are essential for future upgrades. So we're going to go ahead and select milestone here. Going to do that, that, and that. And we are ready to launch this one off. All right, so to build a assembler here, you need 8 reinforced iron plates, 4 rotors, and 10 cable. So you can actually make in here, you can make the rotors and the reinforced iron plate, and obviously the cable. And I went ahead and already did that. So my next goal here is actually going to be to set up a little mini factory for the assembles, hopefully in this area right here. All right, so now what I've done is I've created a little assembler factory right here, and this is going to be producing currently right now for us reinforced iron plate as well as rotors. And as you see, I've kind of snaked around all of the materials to get them to conveyor lifts and stuff that are splitting these up. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's going to get the job done. And as you can see too, there's also smart plating and modular frames that you can make with this as well. The assembler will be extremely crucial in scaling up our production and unlocking even more advanced tech. Reinforced iron plates and rotors are going to be key materials, so we'll keep running these assembling machines to get a stockpile up, and that's why they are all running up all the way into our main storage facility. All right, our next milestone will be Logistics Mk.2. It will enhance our conveyor system with faster belts, conveyor lifts, and even stackable poles, allowing us to transport resources more efficiently across the factory. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to select this milestone, get in those 50 reinforced plates, the concrete, the poles, and lastly our plates. And then, oh, forgot those. There we go. All right, I wanted to show you real quick how these stackable conveyor poles work. So you put them down, and then essentially what this allows you to do is if you wanted to set up, an even more organized factory setting where things are kind of stacking on top of each other, this allows you to make it look a lot cleaner with those. With Mk2 conveyors, we'll be able to move materials faster and handle the increased production demands as our factory grows. Currently, we need a lot of reinforced iron plates for this upgrade, as well as extra power. So we're going to have to wait for this upgrade to our factory till we have a stockpile of the appropriate resources. All right, next, let's unlock jump pads, which will let us move quickly between different levels of the factory, adding a vertical element to our setup, as well as letting us traverse to areas that are further away more quickly. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna click select milestones, and we're gonna put in our 50 rotors in, and then we're gonna do that and launch. So now what you're going to do is you're going to hit Q and you're going to go to the new section in the builder category, and you'll see that it has a transport section right here. And then you do jump pad, which we've already got here. I already put one in and connected power to it. And then that jump pad, what you want to put at the end is one of those U-jelly landing pads, and then connect power to it so that when you fly like this, you don't hurt yourself. You just fall in the jelly. And everybody loves falling in jelly, right? Jump pads make it a crap ton easier to access different parts of our expanding factory, saving us time and obviously adding some extra style to our setup. Our last milestone in Tier 2 is the Resource Sync bonus program. This lets us convert excess resources into points, which we can then use to unlock alternative recipes, customization, and other rewards. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and select the milestone for that, and we're gonna put in all the resources that it needs, and off it goes. All right, now to build these, you just go to your special section, and then there you'll see your awesome sink and your awesome shop. So where I set these up currently is I actually set them up right next to my MAM and my equipment workshop. And what you do is you run a storage box so that you can use it as a dump, area, and you run that directly into the awesome sink. And then that awesome sink, as you can see, if you put standard stuff or you can put in DNA, and then you can utilize that at the awesome shop. The resource sink lets us put surplus less materials to use, helping us unlock bonuses while keeping our storage organized. This is key to unlocking some really nice recipes to make our factory builds much more organized looking, adding customization options, as well as some items that make traversing the world much easier. So for instance, as you can see here, you have your fix it specials, your management, which has got some cool stuff in here like conveyor systems, power outlets, stuff like that. You have organization, which you can branch out into some stuff once you unlock it through your MAM. You have your customizer, which has all sorts of different materials and things and patterns that you can add more depth to your factories. Your foundations, which have all sorts of different shapes. Same thing for walls. Architecture, which you once again can just add even more depth. And then equipment, and then parts, which you can just exchange tickets strictly for standard parts. Lastly, before we close out today's video, we need to unlock tier 3. To do this, we need to build one of the biggest structures yet, the space elevator. This is key to progressing further, and it will act as our delivery point for all future project milestones. To do this, gather all the resources necessary and have a large space set aside to build this structure. As you can see, I've set aside a pretty big space for this thing. But yeah, it requires concrete, iron plate, iron rod, and wire. Just like any other structure, don't worry too much about its placement. Just like the hub, it can be moved at any time. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Q, you're gonna go to space elevator, and then what I'm gonna do to make it look, you know, a little nice for my setup here, my little section here, I'm gonna go around real quick and just make sure that it's somewhat even. And then I think we are ready to accept this and watch this big monstrosity be built. So there we go. Big milestone completed. It is official. Our space elevator has been built. Good to see this beauty back in action. As you can see, to progress to stage 1 of the space elevator, we're going to need some specific materials to feed into it. And it looks like it's actually going to require us to get 50 smart plating, which can only be accessed through the assembler. So as you can see, if you go to the assembler, the recipe for smart plating is in there already. So what it requires is reinforced iron plate and rotors, which we already have cooking through these two. I went ahead and I went up here and I gathered my stockpile that I already had going up to this. And as you can see, just went ahead and temporarily removed some of the conveyor belts here. So what we're gonna do is we're now going to put that smart plating recipe in there, and then we're gonna dump these materials in here so that it can start creating smart plating. And then what we can do is we can actually run this out right here temporarily, once again, and we can run that into the space elevator. It'll automatically put it in there, either that, or we could just go in here and grab it and then put it in here directly if we wanted to. So now all we have to do is just wait for those to be assembled and made. Well, we're ready to send it now. Now we have the new one, which requires smart plating, versatile framework, and automated wiring. Progressing the space elevator opens up a whole new range of technologies and tiers within the hub. The future of our factory is looking extremely bright now that we have access officially to tier 3. That's it for today. We've got a new fuel source set up that makes energy more efficient, set up parts assembly, upgraded our logistics, installed jump pads, and launched the resource sync bonus program. With those things came the introduction of our space elevator, which now that it has progressed, allows for some amazing upgrades. Our factory is really coming together, and we're ready for even bigger builds in tier 3. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow me on Twitch so that you can catch me live every week as we work on this factory together. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a like, and drop a comment below with your thoughts or any tips you'd like to share. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode. Later.